In the heart of nature's vast and wild spaces, some who stand guard have mysteriously vanished without a trace. These brave souls, tasked with protecting the beauty and secrets of natural parks, left behind stories filled with unanswered questions. Across different lands, from dense forests to rugged mountains, we explore the puzzling disappearances of 5 park rangers. Their tales remind us of the wilderness's power and the courage of those watching it. Join us as we delve into the mysteries surrounding their fates, seeking clues hidden beneath the canopy of the unknown. In the heart of southeastern Arizona, where the Chiricahua Mountains rise stark against the sky, lies a story that has echoed through the canyons for over 4 decades. It's a tale not of the land's rugged beauty, but of a man who vanished within it, leaving behind a mystery that has puzzled many and tormented those he loved. Paul Fugate, a dedicated park ranger at Chiricahua National Monument, was as much a part of the landscape as the towering rock formations and deep valleys he patrolled. At 41, his life was deeply intertwined with the park's trails and history. Known for his passion for the outdoors and commitment to conservation, Paul was a familiar face to visitors and a cornerstone in the park community. On a seemingly ordinary Sunday afternoon, January 13, 1980, Paul set out from the visitor center on a routine patrol. His destination was the faraway ranch area, a recent addition to the park he was eager to inspect. Wearing his full ranger uniform, badge proudly displayed, he told a colleague he'd return by 4:30 p.m. With a casual wave, he stepped onto the trail and into the unknown. This moment, so ordinary at the time, would be the last time anyone at Chiricahua would see him. As the hours passed, and there was no sign of Paul, concern quickly escalated into alarm. The park, his home and sanctuary, seemingly swallowed him whole. The search efforts that followed were massive in scale, employing tracking dogs, aircraft, and a battalion of volunteers from numerous agencies. Yet despite their exhaustive efforts, the rugged terrain offered no clues to Paul's whereabouts. For Dodi Fugate, Paul's wife, the sudden disappearance of her husband was a nightmare from which she couldn't awaken. The man she loved, her partner in life's adventure, had vanished. "I feel as though a part of me has just been sliced off," she said, the agony of not knowing what happened to Paul being a constant shadow in her life. The search for Paul became a search for closure, a journey that has stretched over 40 years without an end. Theories about Paul's fate abound. Some speculate he encountered foul play, perhaps stumbling upon illicit activities within the park's remote expanses. Others wonder if an accident or natural causes took him, leaving no trace in the vast wilderness. But without evidence, these theories remain speculative. The truth of Paul's disappearance is as elusive as the man himself. The pain of Paul's absence is shared by those who knew him, including Barbara Elfbrandt, a longtime friend. The weight of the mystery, the endless questions with no answers, is a burden they carry daily. "I don't believe that I did originally that it would be solved," Elfbrandt admitted, the hope once bright now dimmed by the passage of time. In 2018, the National Park Service unexpectedly decided to reopen Paul's case, citing new evidence and increasing the reward for information to $60,000. Yet they remain silent on the nature of this evidence, leaving many to wonder if the mystery that has lingered for so long might finally be solved. Despite the renewed investigation, Paul's family and friends are left with memories and the pain of his absence. "Paul and I were sort of like 2 halves of one person," Dodi reminisced, her words a testament to the depth of their bond. The other half of her, she feels, is somewhere out there waiting to be found. The story of Paul Fugate is a stark reminder of the vastness and mystery of the natural world, a place where beauty and danger coexist. His disappearance from Chiricahua National Monument remains one of the most enduring mysteries in the history of the National Park Service. For those who knew and loved him, the search for answers continues, a quest for closure in the face of an unfathomable loss. In the heart of California's southern Sierra Nevada, within the vast wilderness of Sequoia and Kings Canyon National Parks, a story unfolded in July 1996 that remains etched in the memories of those who knew Randy Morganson. This tale intertwines the mysteries of nature with human emotion, highlighting the life and perplexing disappearance of an experienced backcountry ranger. James Randall "Randy" Morganson born in 1945 in Yosemite Valley, was no stranger to the wild. His life was deeply connected to the national parks, having grown up and graduated from Yosemite National Park Valley School. For Randy, the Sequoia and Kings Canyon National Park wasn't just a workplace but a sanctuary, where he spent 28 seasons as a seasonal backcountry ranger, guiding and protecting the land he loved. Described by his peers as one of the most knowledgeable rangers in the High Sierra, Randy's days started with a slow morning, savoring coffee and the stunning views outside his tent. He was a man who took the time to immerse himself in the beauty of the dawn, preparing for the day's work with a reflective calmness. His friend George Durkee remembered him as someone who approached each day and every visitor with a gentle, low-key demeanor, ensuring everyone's safety while preserving the park's pristine condition. Randy's dedication was evident in his disdain for visitors who left traces of their presence in the wilderness. He was known to carry gunny sacks on his patrols, collecting garbage left behind by those he humorously dubbed Swinus Americanus. His commitment to the park went beyond a ranger's duties. It was a personal mission to safeguard the beauty of the wilderness for future generations. On July 21, 1996, Randy embarked on what was supposed to be a routine patrol in his 80-square-mile area, starting from Bench Lake Station. He left a note on his tent, indicating his plans to be away for 2 to 3 days, but mistakenly wrote June instead of July. Randy took essentials for the journey but left behind his revolver, suggesting no anticipation of danger. This departure into the mountains was the last time anyone saw Randy alive. When days passed without any radio check-in from Randy, concern grew among his colleagues. Rick Sanger, another backcountry ranger, discovered the note on Randy's tent and reported him missing. The search that ensued was one of the most intense in National Park Service history, involving over 100 personnel combing through the wilderness, yet no trace of Randy was found. Randy's life surfaced during the investigation, revealing a man grappling with emotional turmoil. His marriage had ended in divorce after an affair came to light, leading to bouts of depression and suicidal thoughts. Randy had expressed a deep sense of loss and questioning of his life's worth, hinting at a profound inner struggle. After a thorough search yielded no results, Randy's disappearance remained a mystery until 2001, when his remains were discovered near a creek in a gorge. It appeared Randy had suffered a tragic accident, possibly falling through a snow bridge and succumbing to his injuries, hidden from the extensive searches by the snow and ice. The theories surrounding Randy's disappearance are as varied as they are speculative. Some believe he may have staged his death to secure benefits for his ex-wife, while others think it was simply a tragic accident. It remains clear that Randy Morganson's story is a poignant reminder of the unpredictable nature of the wilderness he loved and served, and the human fragility that can be exposed in its vast expanses. Randy's legacy lives on in the trails he patrolled and the memories of those who knew him. His life and disappearance in the Sequoia and Kings Canyon National Parks are a testament to the complex relationship between humans and the natural world, a relationship filled with beauty, danger, and sometimes unsolvable mysteries. Deep within the heart of Yellowstone National Park, where the wilderness stretches as far as the eye can see, there lived a ranger whose soul was as vast and profound as the landscapes he protected. Dwayne P. McClure was not just a guardian of this majestic wilderness. He was part of it. Born into a world where the rustle of leaves and the whisper of the wind were languages he understood, Dwayne grew up with a deep-seated reverence for nature that guided his life. Dwayne's journey with the National Park Service spanned a decade, a testament to his unwavering commitment to preserving the natural beauty that defined his existence. Every morning as the first light of dawn broke over the horizon, casting a golden glow on the serene waters of Yellowstone Lake, Dwayne embarked on his patrol. In his canoe, he moved with a grace that belied the strength and determination within him, a solitary figure against the backdrop of towering mountains and endless skies. For Dwayne, the park was more than his workplace. It was his home, a sanctuary where he found peace and purpose. He was familiar with every trail, every hidden grove, and the stories of the creatures that roamed the land. His life was intertwined with the rhythms of nature, where each day brought new challenges and wonders. But beyond his role as a protector, Dwayne was a beloved son, a brother, and a cherished friend. His laughter was as infectious as his passion for the wild, endearing him to all who had the privilege of knowing him. Then came the day that would forever mark a before and after in the story of Yellowstone. On May 22, 1980, as the park basked in the full bloom of spring, Dwayne set out on a routine patrol across Yellowstone Lake. The waters, which had witnessed countless sunrises and sunsets under Dwayne's watchful eye, were deceptively calm that day. Dwayne entered the lake's embrace with his canoe as his trusted companion, the horizon stretching endlessly before him. But as the hours passed and the shadows lengthened, a silence fell over the park. Dwayne did not return. Concern turned to alarm as his radio calls went unanswered, an ominous quiet settling over the waters he knew so well. A search was launched, a collective effort born of hope and desperation. Rangers and volunteers scoured the area, their determination fueled by the bond they shared with Dwayne, a man who had devoted his life to the wild. They found his canoe capsized and abandoned, a silent witness to a tragedy that remained shrouded in mystery. Despite their exhaustive efforts, Dwayne's fate remained unknown, the lake keeping its secrets. The wilderness, his sanctuary, had claimed him, leaving behind a void that echoed with the loss of a man whose life was a testament to the beauty and peril of the natural world. In the years that followed, Dwayne's legacy lived on as a beacon for those who continued to protect the parks and wilderness areas across the nation. His story is a poignant reminder of the sacrifices made by rangers who, like Dwayne, serve as the guardians of nature's wonders. It is a tale of love, loss, and the enduring spirit of a man who, in life and memory, remains an integral part of the wilderness he cherished. As the seasons change and the years pass, the memory of Dwayne P. McClure endures, a reminder of the profound connection between humans and the earth. In the heart of Yellowstone, where the lake's waters meet the sky, his spirit whispers with the wind, forever a part of the wild he loved. In the serene expanse of Mount Rainier National Park, where the towering peak casts its shadow over lush forests, an unforeseen tragedy shattered the tranquility of winding trails at the dawn of a new year. On the first day of January 2012, a time that promised fresh beginnings, the park became the backdrop for a story of courage, loss, and the unyielding spirit of those dedicated to protecting these sacred grounds. Margaret Anderson, a 34-year-old park ranger, mother to 2 young daughters, and a cherished member of the ranger community, set out on that chilly morning, unaware that it would be her last. Margaret, known for her gentle demeanor and unwavering dedication, was the epitome of the park's guardians, committed to safeguarding the natural beauty and the visitors who come to marvel at it. The tranquility of the park was disrupted when news broke of a man, later identified as Benjamin Colton Barnes, a troubled former soldier. Clad in the remnants of his military past and harboring a tumultuous inner turmoil, Barnes had become entangled in a web of violence that led him from a shooting in a Seattle suburb to the snowy slopes of Mount Rainier. As the park braced for the influx of visitors eager to witness the winter wonderland, a checkpoint had been established to ensure the safety of those venturing into the snow-covered paradise. It was here that Barnes, intent on evading capture, stormed through, setting off a chain of events that would forever alter the course of many lives. Margaret, stationed at Paradise, received the call to action. With a sense of duty that outweighed the risks, she positioned her patrol vehicle to block the path of the approaching menace, a barrier between danger and the unsuspecting families above. Daniel Kamicha, another ranger, joined her in this critical mission, their resolve unwavering in the face of the unknown threat. The confrontation was swift and devastating. Barnes, armed and desperate, unleashed a hail of bullets, striking Margaret before she had a chance to defend herself or retreat. Her sacrifice, a stark testament to her bravery, prevented the gunman from reaching the heart of Paradise, where the consequences could have been unimaginably dire. The park, now a scene of sorrow, echoed the efforts of those who sought to apprehend Barnes and come to Margaret's aid. But it was too late. The ranger who had dedicated her life to protecting others was gone, her legacy imprinted on the land she loved. In the days that followed, a massive manhunt unfolded across the rugged terrain as rangers and law enforcement officers pursued Barnes, who ultimately met his end in the cold embrace of the wilderness, a solitary conclusion to a path marked by turmoil. Margaret Anderson's story is a poignant reminder of the risks borne by the guardians of our national parks. Her bravery, sacrifice, and love for Mount Rainier National Park will forever be remembered as a beacon of courage in adversity. As we reflect on that fateful New Year's Day, we are reminded of the fragility of life and the enduring strength of the human spirit, exemplified by a ranger who stood firm in protecting the natural wonder entrusted to her care. On a seemingly ordinary morning in the heart of summer, Joseph "Joe" Kolotsky, a dedicated park ranger with 13 years of experience, prepared for his day with the same passion and commitment that had defined his career. Nestled within the majestic landscape of the Blue Ridge Parkway in North Carolina, Joe was more than just a ranger. He was a beacon of knowledge, safety, and respect for the natural world he so dearly loved. With a heart as vast as the park he protected, Joe left behind his wife and 3 children that day, embarking on what was to be a routine patrol that turned tragically into his final act of service. June 21, 1998, dawned with the promise of another beautiful day in the park. Joe's mission was clear: to respond to a report of an individual armed with a rifle threatening the safety and peace of visitors at the Big Witch Overlook. Such calls were standard, and Joe's experience equipped him with the skills to handle potential dangers. However, the events of that day would unfold in a way that no training could have prepared him for. As Joe approached the scene, his keen instincts as a seasoned ranger led him to identify the suspect from a distance. For the safety of the park visitors and his fellow rangers, he made a tactical decision. He radioed a colleague, advising them to keep out of sight until they could devise a plan to manage the situation safely. It was a testament to Joe's leadership and commitment to protect at all costs. Turning his patrol car around, Joe returned to the overlook, ready to confront the threat. It was a decision made in the blink of an eye, fueled by his unwavering sense of duty. But fate delivered a cruel blow as he began to step out of his vehicle. Joe was ambushed and shot by the very individual he sought to disarm peacefully. The tranquility of the park was shattered by the echo of gunfire, marking a tragic end for a proper guardian of nature. The aftermath was a blur of activity and emotion. Another ranger arriving on the scene found themselves under fire before the suspect fled into the dense woods, disappearing into the very wilderness Joe had dedicated his life to protecting. Despite the valiant efforts of his colleagues and the swift response of emergency services, Joe was flown to a hospital in Tennessee, where he was pronounced dead. The sanctuary he had served became the backdrop for an immeasurable loss. The man responsible for the attack was later apprehended on the neighboring Cherokee Indian Reservation, bringing a sad closure to a frantic manhunt. The community reeled in the wake of the tragedy, grappling with the loss of a ranger who was not only an instructor of officer safety and defensive tactics, but also a beloved husband and father. The sentence handed down to the assailant, mandatory life without parole, offered a measure of justice, yet it could never compensate for the future Joe's family was robbed of. In the years following Joe's untimely death, his legacy has been honored and remembered in many ways. Memorials and tributes have celebrated his life and service, each echoing the profound impact he had on those who knew him in the park he watched over. Joe's story, marked by dedication, bravery, and an unwavering commitment to preserving the natural beauty, inspires a sense of duty and respect for the wilderness in the hearts of rangers and visitors alike. As the seasons change and the years pass, the memory of that fateful day in June remains a poignant reminder of the sacrifices made by those who serve as stewards of our national parks. Joseph Kolotsky, whose life was cut tragically short in the line of duty, lives on as a symbol of courage and a testament to the spirit of all park rangers who put their lives on the line to protect and preserve the natural wonders entrusted to their care.